Why should anyone feel alone in a world of over 7 billion people? How do we solve the worst humanitarian crisis the world has ever seen? How do we learn to live with each other and ourselves? We need travel more than ever before. It helps build knowledge and counteract all the fear we are fed. Travel is a way to celebrate diversity and all that it means to be human. This film started in 1969, the beginning of my own personal story of frontiers, both of an internal and external nature, my own journey of paradise. I am a third culture child, a living result of globalization. We were an oil family, financial migrants of the late 1960s, who moved to Sumatra for the first year of my life. The first of many journeys of being a foreigner and other, of never really belonging. In Bali, 2001, this story came full circle and began to find meaning through creativity, people, and my daughter, the next generation. The fashion industry brought me back to Indonesia. It is the vehicle that drove my own personal journey of seeking understanding in life through cross-cultural relationships, questions of fulfillment, potential, belonging, and home. Who would imagine that fashion, the second largest polluting industry after oil and a driver of globalization, would lead me to feeling of home and all that has become meaningful in my life? This sense of belonging in the world has come from sharing the relationship with the world with others who have had a similar upbringing and creative expression through fashion, art, travel, and music. Other explorers and existential migrants, visionaries, makers, believers, non-believers, storytellers, villagers, and people that kept their door open whenever we returned. I often think back to the wall poster beach image of my 1990s London design studio and those mental notes of how I was going to live there, in paradise, one day. I now wonder why I thought paradise was a beach. The Balinese don't have a word for paradise as something external. Their word is surga, an internal paradise, a heaven.
Everyone needs to know Bali from Bali, not Bali paradise, because not about the sunset, the sunrise, the beach or mountains. Our paradise is our culture, our way of life.
We can create that in our lives today. It's not something we should be aspiring to. You know, I mean, that's quite often a disempowered view and interpretation of it, is that it's something we should go to, but ultimately, you know, it's something we can create. People who don't understand how to get that look for that in something outside of themselves, and that can be really useful. You can come to a place like Bali and take away a truly spiritual experience. Yes, are you able to sustain that in your everyday life? You know, and maybe that's then the beginning to awaken the awareness that says, how do I make this more of me rather than something I escape to?
A long time ago, they called it Bali's paradise or surga. In that time, we are so nice to our nature, and then nature is protect us. The kid respect the older people. Everyone look after each other. We try to accept the darkness and the light in the same way, so we can stay centered and balanced, so we can pray to the highest, we call God, and we pray for others, it's called human, and plant and trees, and we can pray for the below down there, for the lower spirit, so all are in harmony, so all is in the frequency of love. That is a surga.
Bagaimana kita supaya harmonis terhadap alam, terhadap manusia, dan juga terhadap energi utama. Kalau di Bali dibilang Tuhan atau Ida Sang Yang Widi. For me, paradise is
human behave as a human, so you are harmony between your hearts, between your mind and your body.
The surga is in our heart. Jika kita damai, itulah surga.
You create better life and bring your best out.
Kita mengubah mindset generasi muda untuk bagaimana menjaga alam Bali ini supaya tidak diambil oleh investor atau orang lain dan sebagainya.
For me, it's a paradise is where I feel free to be myself.
Tugas kita sebagai generasi muda untuk menjaga Bali ini agar tetap seperti Bali yang dulu yang terkenal di luar negeri, di mancanegara sebagai surga, sebagai paradise.
If you are leaders, lead by your heart, like we call Dharma. Being part of Dharma, because this is connects to our karma.
We believe in God. We need to pray and thanks. Be grateful. It's not about our religion. It's not about Bali. It's how you live your life. Be good with people. That's why we have a community. It's called Banja. We help each other.
Work together, ngaya, or we know as in Indonesia, gotong royong. We work together to make something happen. That's not cost the money, but that's for social, for our soul and for our tradition. That's concept we take to our film, to our how we make a video, how we make a film.
I told my parents I'm going traveling to some area like around Asia, Europe and Australia. What in that country missing is community. It's the harmony between human to human, human to the nature, human to the God, and then why we doing the prayers, why I would like to spend my time with them, like feel they are family, invite them to have a copy. It's not just about consumers and then a buyers, but being a family.
There is no doubt that Bali is one of my homes in the world. However, this is not a tourism promotion for the island, but sharing of a unique education on diversity and a changing of perspective. There is a local wisdom to share with the world that does not have to be experienced by visiting, but by truly looking and learning through their ancient systems. A melting pot of modernity and ancient wisdom. Balinese culture driven by rituals and traditions, juxtapositioned against the pervading globalization. As well as different systems, these operate at different speeds. Perhaps it is the speed which creates the culture clash, a position of re-evaluation that not only Bali finds itself in, but the whole human race. Modern society is an attention economy. Our world is filled with consumption and communication systems. We spend our lives being driven by time faster and faster, and every exchange we make is measured by it. How can we divert our attention to the things in life which really matter? What if the resistance that is needed is silence, and to discover a different relationship with time?
I believe everything should be human-centered. Responsibility has to be at an individual level. Climate change, the environment we're in, is part of our spiritual environment as well. If we're connected to something bigger than us, that includes the world we're in. So the health of the world is critical to our health.
Kita tuh mempunyai hak untuk menghirup udara yang bersih, mempunyai hak yang sama untuk melihat lingkungan yang bersih. Jadi hak dan kewajiban itu harus seimbang. Kalau mau melihat lingkungan yang bersih, mari jaga kebersihan. Kalau mau melihat menjaga udara yang tidak bersih, lakukanlah penanaman atau penghijauan.
Right now is our time to giving back, so your kid can play in the jungle and then feel safe.
What can we prepare for the next generation? Please, please, please stop this reclamation about Teluk Benoa, because that's gonna be really horrible for the next generation. There are several rivers that going into that bay. Those river is gonna stuck and it's gonna create some flooding. The shape of the island itself is not gonna look like what it is now. There are so many fishermen base their lives over there. There are also some temples. It's not really good. I believe that the tourists coming to Bali is not expecting, or their goal, their expectation is not to see how big and fancy the hotels that are available. They don't expect to see a big casino and all of those fancy stuff, which is already available on the other side of the globe. They could just, let's say, travel to LA or Dubai or other places other than Bali. In Bali, we already have our unique, our culture, our tradition.
From the 1930s, Ubud is becoming the propaganda like the paradise, Balinese is paradise, something like that. Now, paradise is become like so in hipster way, something like that. I said always like, this is so hipster, man. You need to eat vegan food in Ubud, something like that. Why? We eat lawar, we eat babi guling, something like that. Not vegan, but I'm not judging the vegan, but how the outsider tells me what we need to do, something like that.
To do in Ubud.
Yeah, to do in Ubud. That's mostly like bothers me a lot.
I've been working in tourism since 2000s. We see so much change. I see, for example, like a lot of gurus or yoga. They can speak so nice in the classroom, talking about dharma, talking about yoga and attachment. But when they come to the restaurant, I'm as a waitress, their behaviors is changed. Do a lot, I love Bali. But this, when I'm asked, what you can do for Bali? And all these reviews, I'm busy. We need an action, a spiritual action. It means less greed. Right now, so much investors come to Bali just thinking if I'm put $1 million, how much I can get back. So many Westerners coming here actually have that mindset, colonial mindset, to see that kind of expat living here. And then some now, because of the yoga, is try to look at being spiritual and then talking about that dharma parts, but they're not nice to their maid at home and to their employer. For the Westerners to understand our cultures, and also for the local people to look after their cultures. This is actually bring awareness in the both sides, nature happy, human happy, and we can see, tourism make a better place.
There is a place where both silence, time, and the moon are celebrated. The community retreats for contemplation and a reboot. It's a day of meditation, one day to cherish time, but not as we know it.
Ogo-ogo is invented, I think in 1980s, like the modern way. The traditional way is just made by a grass or that what you say organic ogo-ogo is before. It's then they inform.
And the making of ogo-ogo will be handled, taken care of by the youth organization, because
the young people, they have loads of creativity. It starts from the concept. They will propose the concept into the head of the village and discuss about it. If it's okay in terms of the cultures, it's not, let's say, it's too much porn or.
Ogogo is a monster or beast like describe the beast inside us that we fight the day before Nyepi Day. Yeah.
All of this is represent human sadness, that kind of madness.
Before entering the New Year's, we have to neutralize all of the bad energy. During the ogoh-ogoh, the ogoh-ogoh will be carried around the village, and by the end it will be end up at the Chatuspata, the center of the village itself, and will be burned as a concept of the neutralized, or will be demolished.
Nowadays, yeah, they made from styrofoam. That's what's not in the traditional way, or not in the what is called concept before.
The concept before is
yeah, we need to burn it.
One of the village in Mengwi using a very natural material for their ogoh-ogoh. That's very, very nice and also environmental friendly. I believe it's need quite a unique skill to rearrange all of those material to become shape of ogoh-ogoh. But the one that we do here in Brawa, mostly using the modern material, which is papers and some of the styrofoams.
Tren yang ada sekarang itu adalah tidak sudah merupakan lingkungan mereka, environment. Jadi ide kami di sana adalah kembali ke Bali zaman dulu, untuk menggunakan bahan-bahan alami, organik. Jadi membuat suatu ogoh-ogoh yang dengan traditional way, but the cover is modern. Masyarakat yang mengerti tentang pentingnya menjaga alam, mereka yang berpikir bahwa ini sangat bagus. Tetapi masyarakat yang tidak mengerti tentang lingkungan, dia tidak memandang bagus, dia biasa-biasa saja.
March 28, 2017, the Balinese celebrated their annual New Year. Nyepi, the year is 1939.
You're not supposed to light up the lights at night. You're not supposed to leave the house. You're not supposed to work.
No car in the streets. It's a time for reflection. It's having a time to be within.
Even the airport closes for 24 hours to respect this deliberate stillness, to gain perspective and contemplation. Silence and a night sky remind us of our place in the universe and give us a sense of belonging and provides a shift in the perspective. It's a place where we feel part of a larger whole and of understanding that we are a tiny part of the cosmos. What better way to imagine this than to sleep for one night under a blanket of stars? A night where there's no light pollution blocking our view to the Milky Way, to remind ourselves with that childlike awe and wonder of the world that we forgot to keep. This is a privilege only experienced by 20% of the world's population. The other 80% have light pollution to contend with.
For this project, I'm using Canon 5D Mark III as my base equipment. The lens that I use is a 14mm fixed lens. You have to put the focusing on infinity. And the ISO that I use is 2800. The time usually about 25 seconds. As a tour guide, I'm happy to take the clients to do the Milky Way photography tours, to be able to share the beauty of the island. Apart from Nyepi Day, you could take this kind of photographs up on the mountain and also from the east part of the island, because those places are less light pollution. You have to wake up sometimes in the middle of night and sometimes very early in the morning. The surrounding is really, really dark. The only light source that you have is the stars. Quite an amazing experience. Up on the mountain is really cold. I mean, from my perspective as a Balinese, it's the fog. After one shot, I have to wipe out the lens. Otherwise, it will be fully covered by the moist. This, for example, after one shot, and then for the next shot, I forgot to wipe the lens. So that's the result. It's actually naturally look more dramatic, I would say. And this, the third one, is even worse. See? So if you can be at the right place tonight at the midnight, you still could capture the Milky Way.
In resisting the trappings of a consumer society, we begin to change the storytelling and create meaningful interactions with each other that do not require sharing moments of consumption, but moments of time. What if we stop using words like paradise and think of this paradise as a real living village and not some exotic other for our social media campaigns, but by looking at meaningful human connection and interbeing with one another and our environment? Perhaps it is only this shift in perspective is needed when looking for understanding of a paradise paradigm. In the words of anthropologist Wade Davis, rediscovering a new appreciation for the diversity of human spirit is one of the central challenges of our times. Time has come to embrace the key revelation of anthropology, the idea that the world into which we are born does not exist in some absolute sense, but rather is just one model of reality, the consequence of one set of choices made by our particular intellectual and social lineage. It matters that we tell these stories and make these journeys. This is a celebration of all the nationalities that make this story possible, a world community that is not geographically specific. Bali Bali helped connect the dots and make this story possible.